In the day's other news, the House of Representatives has passed a $36 billion relief bill for areas hit by hurricanes and wildfires. More than half that funding goes to the Federal Emergency Management Agency, including up to $5 billion to help Puerto Rico.
We've got to do more to help Puerto Rico rebuild its own economy so that it can be self-sufficient. But at the moment, and that's why I'm going down there tomorrow, at the moment there's a humanitarian crisis that has to be attended to.
What we're talking about now is emergency relief. There is going to have to be, relief right now. There's going to have to be recovery, and that's a whole other, shall we say, budget.
The bill also earmarks about $16 billion to cover flood insurance claims in Texas and Florida, and nearly $600 million will go toward fighting wildfires. President Trump signed an executive order today aimed at promoting greater choice in health insurance plans. It lets small businesses form associations to offer scaled-back plans at lower costs. They would be exempt from Obamacare requirements to cover so-called essential benefits. We'll report on this in detail later in the program. The president has formally nominated White House official Kirstjen Nielsen to be his new Secretary of Homeland Security. She had worked for then Secretary John Kelly and moved to the White House with him when he became Chief of Staff. Mr. Trump introduced Nielsen today and praised her experience. He said there will be no on-the-job training for her. The U.S. Justice Department today singled out 5 jurisdictions around the country for allegedly giving sanctuary to undocumented immigrants. The city of Chicago and surrounding Cook County, Illinois, plus New Orleans, New York, Philadelphia, now face an October 27th deadline. They have to show they are cooperating with immigration officials or they risk losing federal grants. The U.S. and Pakistan today announced the release of an American woman, her Canadian husband, and their 3 children. They had been held 5 years by the militant Haqqani network linked to the Taliban. Caitlin Coleman and Joshua Boyle were shown in 2 hostage videos after being captured in Afghanistan in 2012. Relatives learned of their release today in Ontario, Canada.
We were told the wonderful news that our family had been rescued. And then 20 minutes later, we were allowed to actually talk with Josh. So that's the first time in 5 years we got to hear his voice. It was amazing.
Details on how the family was freed were not immediately available, but President Trump said it shows that many countries are starting to respect the United States again. Rival Palestinian factions, Fatah and Hamas, announced a new attempt today to heal a 10-year breach. Hamas agreed to return control of Gaza to Fatah by December 1st. Fatah already controls the West Bank. The agreement was brokered by Egypt and it was signed in Cairo. It also calls for reopening a key border crossing with Egypt. The United States is formally withdrawing from the UN Cultural Agency, UNESCO. The State Department says that the decision takes effect at the end of next year. Washington halted funding for UNESCO in 2011 after it voted to recognize Palestine as a member state. Experimental gene therapy to treat a rare form of blindness moved a big step closer to federal approval today. Advisors to the Food and Drug Administration unanimously recommended the approach. It improves vision in patients who go legally blind because of defective genes. The FDA has until mid-January to make its decision. And on Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost nearly 32 points to close at 22,841. The Nasdaq fell 12 and the S&P 500 slipped 4.